There's a familiar story, a tale as old as time, or at least as old as parenthood. It's a narrative woven into the fabric of our culture, repeated in countless movies, TV shows, and whispered conversations between bleary-eyed parents. The baby cries. Mom wakes up instantly, her senses on high alert, attuned to the slightest whimper. She's a superhero, leaping into action before the first tear even hits the crib sheet, and Dad sleeps on, oblivious. A log, a rock, completely undisturbed by the tiny human demanding attention just a few feet away. Or so the story goes. It's a scene we see in movies, played for laughs, a comedic trope that reinforces a deeply ingrained belief. Here in jokes, passed around between friends and family, a shared understanding of the supposed reality of nighttime parenting. And talk about in exhausted whispers. It's the kind of conversation you have at 3 a.m., fueled by caffeine and desperation, wondering if you'll ever sleep again. The common belief? Moms are biologically wired to wake up, their maternal instincts kicking in at the slightest peep. It's in their DNA, supposedly. While dads are deep sleepers, genetically predisposed to slumbering through the chaos. This idea offers a simple explanation, a convenient narrative that seems to make sense on the surface, for why mothers often handle most nighttime parenting. It neatly packages the division of labor, assigning roles based on perceived biological differences. It suggests men just can't help it, that their lack of response is simply a matter of physiology. They're built differently. End of story. But is this really true? Is it a fundamental difference etched in our genes, or just a convenient myth? A self-perpetuating story that serves to reinforce traditional gender roles? Accepting this story shapes expectations. It sets the stage for an unequal distribution of labor from the very beginning. Mom becomes the default nighttime caregiver, automatically assuming responsibility for every cry, every feeding, every diaper change, leading to exhaustion and resentment. The weight of constant sleep deprivation and the feeling of being solely responsible can take a heavy toll. Dads, meanwhile, may feel less involved or competent. They might internalize the idea that they're simply not equipped to handle nighttime parenting, leading to a sense of helplessness. Before we accept this as biological destiny, before we resign ourselves to this predetermined fate, let's look at the evidence. Let's examine the science and see what it really tells us about sleep, hearing, and parental response. Is it really about who can hear the baby? About the physical ability to detect the sound of a crying infant? Or is something else going on? Are there other factors at play, influencing who wakes up and who stays asleep? Relying on biology as an excuse, using it as a justification for unequal division of labor, can prevent us from finding real solutions. It can blind us to the underlying issues and perpetuate a cycle of imbalance. The consequences are real unequal burdens, strained relationships, the erosion of partnership and shared responsibility, and tired parents, a recipe for burnout and resentment on both sides. If we want to solve the problem, if we aspire to create a more equitable and supportive parenting dynamic, we need to understand its true cause. We need to move beyond simplistic explanations and delve into the complexities of sleep, parenting, and societal expectations. So, let's investigate what science actually says. Let's unpack the research and challenge the assumptions. About who wakes up when a baby cries. What are the real factors that determine parental response at night? Is dad really sleeping through it all, genuinely oblivious to the cries of his child? Or is the story more complicated? Is there more to the picture than meets the eye? Let's dig into the data and find out. Let's separate fact from fiction and uncover the truth about nighttime parenting. The truth might surprise you. It might challenge your preconceived notions and offer a new perspective on the age-old question of who wakes up when the baby cries. The idea that dads can sleep through anything while moms are instantly alert to a baby's cry is a common belief. It's often joked about and sometimes even taken as an undeniable truth. But to truly understand if there's any validity to this notion, we need to move beyond personal stories and individual experiences. We need more than anecdotes. We need data. Fortunately, recent research has stepped in to put the dad sleep through anything theory to the test. Scientists have begun exploring this long-held assumption using rigorous scientific methods. So what did they find? The results? The data reveals a surprising truth. Men are just as likely as women to wake up when a baby cries at a normal volume. This challenges the stereotype of dads being oblivious to their baby's needs during the night. These weren't just simple surveys or questionnaires. Studies monitored parents' brain waves and physical responses in sleep labs, providing objective measurements of their reactions to a baby's cries. The evidence, gathered through careful observation and analysis, shows no fundamental difference in how men and women respond to a baby's cry. Both genders exhibit similar levels of sensitivity and responsiveness. And this isn't just a one-off finding. Multiple studies, conducted with both parents and non-parents, confirm this finding, strengthening the validity of the results. The male auditory system is perfectly capable of detecting a baby's cry. Men's ears are just as attuned to the specific frequencies and patterns of infant cries as women's ears are. So why does the myth persist, even in the face of scientific evidence? And perhaps more importantly, why do mothers still handle more nighttime care, despite both parents being equally capable of hearing and responding to the baby? The science debunks the myth, revealing a more nuanced reality, but it also raises better questions, prompting us to look beyond simple explanations. If both parents can hear the baby and are equally responsive, what's really driving the nighttime divide? What other factors are at play? The answer isn't rooted in biology. It's something else entirely. It's more complex than just who can hear the baby better. Let's look deeper and explore the other forces that shape parental roles and responsibilities in the nighttime hours. So, how do we know these findings are solid and not just based on anecdotal evidence or small isolated cases? How can we be sure that the conclusions drawn are truly representative of a larger population? Researchers, dedicated to understanding the nuances of parental sleep, brought both men and women into meticulously controlled sleep labs. These labs were carefully designed, controlling for every possible variable, including noise levels, ambient light, and room temperature, ensuring a standardized environment for all participants. While the participants slept, sophisticated equipment monitored their brain activity with EEG and physical movement with EMG, providing a comprehensive picture of their sleep patterns and responses to external stimuli. During the sleep cycles, researchers played recordings of baby cries at normal, realistic volumes, simulating a common nighttime occurrence for new parents. The results were quite revealing. Both men and women showed remarkably similar arousal responses when exposed to the sound of a baby crying. Analyzing the neurological data, researchers found no significant gender gap in their initial reactions to the cries, suggesting that both sexes were equally attuned to the sound. But the question remained, how well do these lab results translate to the unpredictable environment of real life? To bridge this gap, studies were conducted that tracked parents in their own homes, observing their natural sleep patterns and responses to their baby's needs. These studies incorporated a combination of sleep logs, where parents recorded their sleep experiences, and wearable devices, like fitness trackers, to objectively measure sleep duration and quality. The data collected from these at-home studies revealed that fathers woke up frequently during the night, dispelling the myth that they sleep soundly through their baby's cries. The real difference between mothers and fathers wasn't necessarily in the frequency of waking up. It was predominantly in who took the initiative to get out of bed and provide direct care for the baby. Whether in the controlled environment of the lab or the complexities of real-world scenarios, the studies consistently point to the same conclusion. Both men and women possess the biological capability to wake up in response to a baby's cry, challenging traditional assumptions about parental roles. The scientific evidence supporting this conclusion is robust, consistent, and derived from multiple independent studies. The key takeaway here is that the disparity isn't in the ability to hear the cry, it's in the subsequent action taken. There's a small twist. Women are slightly more sensitive to very quiet baby sounds, but most babies don't just whimper, they cry loudly when they need something. The minor difference in detecting faint sounds doesn't explain the huge gap in nighttime care. It's like saying one person cooks because they can smell spices better, hardly convincing. The real story is about who responds, not who hears. Focusing on tiny biological differences distracts from the bigger picture. When a baby truly needs care, both parents wake up. The real question, who gets out of bed? If biology isn't the answer, what is? The real reasons are rooted in daily life and social expectations. Parental leave is a big factor. Mothers often get more time off, becoming the baby care expert. When night comes, it feels more efficient for the expert to handle wake-ups. Fathers, with less practice, may feel less confident. Social norms reinforce this. Mothers are pressured to be ever vigilant, while fathers are praised for minimal involvement. This cycle, more leave, more expertise, more night duty, becomes self-reinforcing. The result? Mom is exhausted, Dad feels like a helper, not a partner. This isn't biology, it's habit and expectation. Recognizing this is the first step to change. We can choose a more equal approach. The pattern isn't set in stone. Breastfeeding does shape nighttime routines. If mom is nursing, she's up for feedings. But that doesn't mean she has to do everything. Dads can handle burping, diaper changes, and soothing after feeds. As babies grow or with bottle feeding, sharing becomes even easier. The real barrier is often unequal parental leave. When fathers aren't home early on, they miss chances to build confidence and routines. Leave policies that sideline dads reinforce the idea that they're secondary caregivers. This leads to maternal gatekeeping, where mom manages everything and dad hesitates to step in. Breaking the cycle takes better policies and conscious effort to share tasks even when breastfeeding. Shared parenting is possible, even at night. Nighttime parenting isn't just about fairness, it's about health. Chronic sleep deprivation has serious effects: exhaustion, impaired thinking, and strained relationships. One parent, usually mom, bears the brunt, risking depression, anxiety, and slower recovery from childbirth. Lack of sleep weakens the immune system and increases long-term health risks. Sharing the nighttime load protects both parents' mental and physical health. It's not a luxury, it's essential for family well-being. Distributing sleeplessness reduces risk and helps both parents be more present and patient. A well-rested family is a healthier, happier family. It's not about keeping score, it's about teamwork. Everyone benefits when the load is shared. Let's connect the dots. The myth that men can't hear the baby isn't supported by science. The real divide comes from unequal leave, breastfeeding logistics, and powerful social expectations. These factors create a feedback loop. Mom gets up, gets better at it, and keeps doing it. Dad feels less needed, and the pattern continues. These aren't conscious choices. They're habits shaped by culture and circumstance. The myth offers a convenient excuse, but it's time to move past it. Dismantling the myth opens the door to honest conversations and real change. Fathers are just as capable. Mothers deserve support. The division of labor is a choice, not destiny. Understanding the real cause is the first step to a better solution. So, what now? The data frees us from old excuses. It's time for a new normal, one built on partnership and communication. Start with a conversation. How will you share the nights? Make a plan. Take shifts, divide tasks, and support each other. Even with breastfeeding, dads can help with everything but the feed itself. Societal change matters too. Better leave policies and challenging stereotypes help everyone. Sharing the load isn't about perfection. It's about commitment and teamwork. A father's response isn't just about hearing, it's about choosing to act. By waking up to the evidence, families can be more rested, supported, and connected.